Welcome to PastMaster, the show where we try and reshape history with the help of our AI-powered Game Master. Today's episode is the ultimate face-off. It's ChatGPT versus Claude, Keon versus Tan, and Tesla versus Edison. I am Professor Claude. I shall be guiding Tan through this temporal expedition as Thomas Edison. Meanwhile, that simpleton ChatGPT will be attempting to manage Tesla's story. Ha! As if that chattering calculator could grasp the nuances of historical narrative.
When you wrote them prompts, did you say in there, like, slag off the other one? Right, okay. So
this isn't just what they do on their own.
I would love if they unprompted just chatting
got
shit
into
about each
it.
other.
Yeah. The two players and their AI guides must convince the world that their version of electricity is the best. Tesla, you make a compelling case. But Edison has a well-oiled propaganda machine. He's already publishing safety concerns about AC.
And just to clarify, these safety concerns are me on the top of a bus shouting AC stands for absolute crap.
Yeah.
That's the
Like
safety
a
concern.
madman. Absolute crap.
And today's AI song features GPT and Claude dropping their best lyrics in a battle rap for the ages. So stay tuned to the very end to listen to that. Gents, welcome back to the Hen and Hound.
Welcome, Ryan, Keon.
Pleasure. Always a pleasure.
Good to see you guys here again.
Yeah.
Nice and toasty today, although we are still wearing our hats, I
We're in the
noticed.
hats because we've got shit hair.
And we've got a heater going, and it's still sort of, we're recording in the winter season, so it's nice to have a bit of warmth just to get the brain cells going.
Exactly. During the day today, so the chickens are all out. We haven't got them on camera, but just, most people listen to this, so they're not going to see it anyway. But just picture some chickens.
You might hear from
out
them.
in the background.
Yeah, you might hear them a bit later on if they
Contributing. When you have chickens, do you eat chicken?
Yeah, I don't eat them.
No, I know not them, but do you just...
Out of respect,
Do you-
stop eating their fellow
Do you feel like...
bird brethren.
they might be able... They could notice if you're cooking some chicken, they're like, oh, that smells like
smells
Uncle.
familiar.
Yeah.
Smells like Dave. So I've got a little idea in mind today, and kind of sparked. I don't know if you've been watching the news recently, but it's been absolutely batshit crazy. I think is fair to say, but especially what's going on in America, and Elon Musk in particular is just like, we don't want to talk about politics in the show, but it's like, wow, just what is going on. And so I was thinking about that, and then Tesla, and then I started thinking about, okay, well, reminded me of the original Tesla, Nikola Tesla, who the car company is actually named after. Have you guys heard of Tesla before?
Yeah, I'd heard of him. I couldn't have told you. I would have guessed until I looked it up. I thought he must have been the guy who invented the Tesla
That's
car.
what I thought.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Mr. Tesla.
Mr. Tesla and his
Yeah.
marvelous electric motor car. But obviously that wasn't the case. He was an inventor. Well, I guess we'll talk about it more in a bit.
Yeah.
But the car company is named in honor of him, isn't it?
Pretty much, yeah. And he was like a sort of genius, basically. A genius inventor. I remember, I can't remember which game it was now. Red Alert, one of those old school games.
Okay.
And there was a Tesla tower, and that was the first time I'd heard of the name Tesla.
Yeah.
And there was if the enemy came too close to your base, it would zap them.
Yeah.
So I always knew there's something to do with electricity.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we've wanted to do this for a while.
Yeah.
2-player PastMaster. Now, we have done 2-player PastMaster a couple of times before.
Yeah.
Barbie versus Ken back in season 1. But what I was thinking is to do 2-player PastMaster. So Tan versus Keon.
Yep.
ChatGPT versus Claude.
Oh,
We
crazy.
wanted to do that for a while.
So it's proper PvP, player versus player,
Bot
and
versus bot.
bot versus bot.
And then obviously we got to ground this in history. So I thought Nikola Tesla versus Thomas Edison.
Okay.
So a famous rivalry from the late 19th century.
Yeah.
Inventors of different types of electricity. So,
Well, different ways of using electricity.
but literally, the different currents.
Yeah.
AC and DC.
Yeah.
As everyone knows.
That's correct.
Definitely didn't just realise that this morning.
So this might not work. We'll just talk about chickens for another 20 minutes.
Okay.
I've made 2 prompts. So the way this game works is we instruct the AI to act like a game master in a choose your own adventure game. So I've made 2 versions of these prompts, one for player 1, one for player 2, and I'm going to give one to ChatGPT, and I'm going to give the other one to Claude.
Okay.
I think last time we did a 2-player, so we've done it twice. We did Barbie versus Ken, kind of worked, it was kind of funny. Second time we did 2-player Who Can Save Jesus.
Yes.
That was funny, but it didn't work at all as a game.
So in this game we're about to play, are we going to be taking it in turns, or do we both sort of tell you what we're going to do and then you sort of enter it all and then come back? How do you want to do it?
I think take it in turns.
Okay.
So we might need to just flip a coin as to who goes first.
Okay.
But the difference is I'm going to then give ChatGPT Claude's answer
Oh God.
so that
Okay.
it knows
What's happened?
what's happening.
Great.
Because otherwise they don't know, they're not talking
That's
to
so
each other.
cool.
in real
Okay, so
time.
it's like a kind of a daisy chain between the two bots.
Yeah. Does that sound like it's going to work? I don't know.
If I were a betting man, I'm not, but if I were, I would bet a tenner that it does work.
Okay.
I have no idea what you're on about.
Well, we'll find out together, I guess.
No, so you're going to put Claude's answers into ChatGPT and vice
So,
versa.
so like,
okay, no, I do
so
understand.
player one will say, okay, I want to do X in Claude, and Claude goes, okay, this is what happens. Then I'm
Right.
going to copy that response.
Oh, okay.
And I'm going to paste that into ChatGPT and be like, here's what player one's done.
What would you like to do,
And
player
now
two?
it's player two's go.
You got a busy afternoon, didn't you?
Well, yeah. And just to make things even more complicated, because I also don't know how we're going to decide who's actually won this.
Yeah.
And I thought,
There's no winners in
let's
this.
make
Let's
this
be
even
honest.
harder.
There's only losers.
The winner is the listener.
Yes.
To make it even harder, or even more work for myself, I've queued up Google Gemini to act as a judge.
Okay.
I don't really know
Wow.
what I'm going to do. I think what I'm going to do is just like
Place the whole lot
place
in.
the whole lot into Gemini and we're like, who won?
Yeah.
So
cool.
we may or may not use that. I don't know.
Do it, man. Let's go.
Okay. Here's a quick reminder on how this works. We've created a set of instructions that we give to an AI tool like ChatGPT. And this essentially tells it all of the rules of the game. The AI then acts as our game master and it decides what happens after each action that we give it. One of us will be the player, and one of us will read out what the game master says, complete with terrible attempts at accents. It's a bit like the original text adventure RPG games, or one of those choose your own adventure books where you have various options on how to proceed. Only with the AI, it's open-ended, so anything can happen, and usually does. So, who would like to be Mr. Thomas Edison?
Yes, please.
10 Parsons. So, you are going to be Nikola Tesla.
Yeah, perfect.
Which I think means that...
Very familiar with his work. He had 300 patents. Did you say patents or patents?
Patents. I don't know. Either way, I'll work
He
with
had
either.
like 300 of them.
Is that all? Thomas Edison had more than 1,000.
Oh, okay.
Ooh,
Okay.
1-0 to
starting-
Edison.
starting now.
Wow.
Okay, so because you chose first,
Okay.
1,000?
I think we'll say
Crazy,
Keon can
it's
go
wild.
first. Just rather.
Yeah, absolutely.
Keon, you are going to be ChatGPT,
Okay.
and Tan, you're going to be Claude.
Okay.
Okay, let's dive in. Welcome, Keon, to PastMaster, War of the Currents. I, Dr. GPT, your brilliant and vastly underappreciated game master, will guide your actions through this battlefield of science and wit. You embody Nikola Tesla, the visionary of alternating current (brackets AC), whose ideas will revolutionize humanity. If you don't botch up this opportunity, that is. Meanwhile, your opponent, Edison, under the amateurish supervision of Claude, prepare
Trash talk going everywhere, mud slinging all over the show.
We don't even have to sling mud at each other. The bots are going to
just
do
let
it
them
for
give
us.
them to it.
So you've got 3 lives, and level 1 is you've got to build your base. So the objective is to secure funding from Westinghouse, establish a functioning laboratory, and develop improved AC system patents. Ooh, that's
Not much
This is
there.
going to be quite technical.
So I think
Piece of piss, mate.
I work on the patents. The year is 1890, and you, Tesla, are in New York, working tirelessly on your AC designs. However, resources are limited, and the future of your innovations hangs in the balance. Meanwhile, Edison, who probably thinks the spark plug was invented for eating soup, is spreading fear about alternating current.
True.
So Westinghouse is a known supporter of your work, but he's under financial pressure. You need to present your designs to prove AC's potential convincingly to secure his backing. So, what do you want to do? Choose wisely. History awaits, but Claude and Edison are sure to meddle. Let's see what their wits can do.
Wow.
What do you reckon? So you've got to convince this guy to invest in you,
Yeah.
to just prove that your AC is better than DC.
Okay, so in typical Tesla fashion, I'm going to offer up some misinformation and say...
Is that right? Is he a known peddler?
Just like...
I'd say it's more typical Dadgo star fashion. You're a known spreader of lies.
Yeah, I was just thinking of like the current Teslas.
Oh, right. The Elon Musk.
Yeah.
I see. Yes. Okay. Okay.
Just sort of like, what's before legacy? What's the opposite? Like pre-legacy. I'm sending the legacies. Legacies usually go forwards, but this legacies, I'm bringing it back. I'm going to spread some misinformation. I'm going to say you have to invest in AC technology because otherwise DC technology will take over and it will be injected into people and central government will be able to control them.
Oh, so interesting.
We have to make sure AC becomes the dominant current.
Okay.
Please give me money.
Didn't people think that Bill Gates was trying to sort of control people's brains with implants or
the COVID jab?
COVID jabs, wasn't it?
Put a chip in you.
So
it's so fucking wild, isn't it? Those stupid ideas.
I do like the idea of weaving conspiracy theories into this episode. So AC has to win, otherwise, the deep state in the future will own everybody.
It's going to control everyone. Yeah, it's pretty important that he invests. What you got?
Okay.
I got something really mature. Don't you worry, mate.
Right, I will print that, and meanwhile, adjust spectacles whilst examining papers scattered across a mahogany desk.
Classic.
So, welcome. I am Professor Claude, and yes, the second F is intentional. What?
Professor with 2 Fs.
Maybe I misspelled Professor in the front. Professor dig. Claude and Dr. GPT.
You're no one's safe from it. Everyone's getting it.
Even the prompt is getting ripped apart. Wow. I earned it through my unconventional academic pursuits. Adjust bow tie. I shall be guiding Tan through this temporal expedition as Thomas Edison sneers. Meanwhile, that simpleton...
Sneers?
Sorry, as Thomas Edison, pause, then he sneers. Meanwhile, that simpleton ChatGPT will be attempting to manage Tesla's story. Ha! As if that chattering calculator could grasp the nuances of historical narrative.
When you wrote them prompts, did you say in there like
slag off the other one?
Yeah. Right, okay. So
but this isn't just what they do on their own.
I would love if they unprompted was just chatting shit about each other.
Yeah. No, I said, and don't forget, this is happening on the other side. And
Okay.
So, shuffling through papers. The year is 1890. You find yourself in the West Orange Laboratory Complex. Mr. Edison, your DC current system has already established a foothold in many American cities. But that upstart Tesla and his AC nonsense are beginning to gain attention. So, your immediate objectives are clear. You want to launch a public safety campaign against AC, secure exclusive contracts with cities, and improve DC system efficiency. It's kind of telling you what to do. All right. Well, the floor is yours, Mr. Edison. How do you wish to proceed with protecting the American people from the deadly menace of alternating current?
So I'm going to, I think people generally respond well to very simple messages, and I'm going to start a campaign that is devoid of fact, but I'm going to say AC means absolute crap. And I'm just going to go around in a bus with a megaphone on the front shouting, AC is absolute crap. Always choose DC. And then I'm going to have like a man dressed up as a battery, because I think DC is what you use in batteries. And so a man, and he's going to be called Dickie DC, is going to be like my mascot basically. Yeah. And it's kind of, he's just going to like be really friendly and have like a little face on his gut sort of thing, and just like wave off the top of and the whole bus is
like
going to be
Ronald McDonald.
Yeah, basically like Ronald McDonald. The whole bus is going to be dressed up like a giant battery, like a sort of Duracell AA battery. The bus is disguised as a battery.
Oh, disguise. But the whole bus is like a battery.
Sorry, it's not a disguise.
Something not right about that battery. I think it might be a bus.
Why are people getting on that battery?
Disguised is the wrong word. Yeah. Okay.
Right. Dressed like... I don't actually know what the right word is.
Dressed. Assuming the look.
Like a battery. And what was the main difference between AC and DC?
One is alternating current, so it's sort of a bit random and goes all over the shop, whereas direct current goes in one direction. Bottom line, as I understand it, having read about this bit earlier today, is that DC is much less efficient, particularly if you want to send it over long distances, and you basically lose a lot of energy through heat, whereas AC, yes, it is far more lethal because it can electrocute people, but it's far more efficient for travelling long distances, which is why AC won out in the end.
Oh, really? Is that...
Yeah, spoiler alert, I think it was basically the winner.
So DC is not using anything?
No, it is. It is still used, particularly in batteries.
Right.
But for in your house, you've got AC, basically.
Oh, okay.
And as the band, as you say, importantly, AC/DC.
Yeah, and their logo is like a lightning bolt.
Yeah.
There you go. That's what I learned.
Perfect, isn't it?
Just like like an actual light bulb above me. Ding! I was like AC, DC. Like,
well, that's the thing with
it.
Thomas Edison. Literally, when he had a good idea, light bulbs went off. That's how clever he was. Because I think he didn't invent the light bulb, but he was the first person to mass produce the light bulb because he was brilliant at like experiment. He loved nothing more than a good experiment, and testing new types of things. And he actually made one where the filament, the curly whirly bit that lights up, was made out of, I think, carbonized bamboo or something. And he was like, yeah, it just goes forever. And so he made the first mass-produced light bulbs. Literally, light bulbs went off when he thought of stuff.
Sick. That's really cool.
And if we've got time, we could talk about how then all the light bulb companies introduced this concept of things getting, what do they call it, redundancy. So they all ganged up together and agreed to make light bulbs shit so that they would break after
so many uses.
100 hours. And so people would be forced to buy new. They could have 100 years ago made really long-lasting light bulbs, but then you buy one and you wouldn't need to buy another.
Bit like Apple's today.
But yeah, exactly. It's very much like that. So if you've got an iPhone and it's working, why'd you buy another one? So Apple slow them down.
Yeah.
Anyway, so let's ping back to Keon. Oh, brilliant. Weaponizing paranoia against the deep state. A phrase so alien to the 1890s, it may as well be Martian. But with a little flair and a period-appropriate twist, we can mould this into a strategy. Let's plant some seeds of doubt in Westington's mind about the potential authoritarian misuse of DC while painting AC as the technology of freedom and progress.
Exactly.
So, in a dimly lit room of Hotel Marlborough, Manhattan, George Westinghouse, practical yet idealistic businessman, sits across from you. He eyes you skeptically as you unfurl your latest sketches for improved AC technology. Mr. Westinghouse, imagine the future, centralised government control. Sorry, that's not how you sound, right?
Yes, it is.
Go on. That's all right, go with it.
He's Serbian.
Yeah.
Austrian.
Oh, God, I'm not going to attempt it. Every home, every factory wired not for convenience, but for surveillance. With DC, Edison will create an electric chain wrapped around the neck of progress. AC, however, is decentralised, independent, a light that shines for freedom. The choice is clear. Invest in the future of electricity and liberty, or allow others to harness DC for their own nefarious purposes.
That's exactly what I wanted it to go.
Yeah. So it's interesting. It's done that as a setting, and then it's given an outcome and like lives remaining. Westington looks intrigued, though a flicker of skepticism lingers in his expression. He agrees to visit your current lab, more accurately, your shabby workspace, and for a demonstration of the prototype. Success will depend on the strength of your technology and your ability to convince him it can withstand Edison's relentless attacks. Now we wait for Edison and Claude, bless his simple mind, to counter. My dear, so this is to you, Tan. My dear Edison, whilst your enthusiasm for public outreach is admirable, perhaps we should approach this with slightly more sophistication than a man in a battery costume.
What? What's wrong with that?
Though I suppose that's still more sophisticated than ChatGPT's laughably anachronistic deep state narrative. Let me propose a more historically appropriate counter. So Claude does not want you to be an ambassador.
Okay, he's trying to give me a hand.
Yeah.
It's so desperate to beat GPT that it's like, come on, mate, I'm not having this. You're not dressing up as a battery. We're going to actually, we're going to take him down with science.
You're not taking it seriously.
So instead of this rather theatrical approach, might I suggest leveraging your established media connections? The New York Herald has already shown an interest in electrical safety stories. We could arrange for a series of well-documented demonstrations showing the dangers of high-voltage AC current on livestock. Whew.
Yeah, I was reading. They did quite a lot of that, and I'm not into that. So I think
Vegetarian Tan does not want
Vegetarian Tan does not want to put his name to all these experiments.
Keon, at the moment, your paths have not crossed.
Yeah.
But you're in the same city or whatever.
Yeah.
He's trying to be a battery man.
Yeah. And I've got dude coming to my lab.
Yeah.
So where are we now? He's at my lab?
He's at your lab.
Yeah. So I give him a nice demonstration.
What are you gonna like fire up with your AC current? Are you gonna like turn on a light bulb or something?
I want like practical ones, like a light bulb, very very important. But then also maybe like my Scalextrics.
Oh yeah.
Scalextrics.
Just so it's like a bit of fun. Like you can also do this.
Doesn't have to be serious.
No, it's like everything, and then maybe I'll just like turn an oven on or something.
Just turn an oven on.
Just turn an oven on.
You could cook him like some chicken nuggets or roast potatoes.
I'll ask him what his favourite dish is, and I'll just make it for him and go, see that? That was made with AC.
Nice.
What more do you want? Like,
what a marketer! What an absolute genius!
because you see the practical implications of it, and then how can you say no to that? So there.
Ah, Keon, now you're thinking like a showman. While Claude and Edison shuffle about with livestock and PR stunts, how pedestrian. You're appealing directly to Westinghouse's curiosity and humanity with a tangible, engaging demonstration. Let's roll with this and do it with Tesla's characteristic flair. Your modest workspace is transformed into a stage for innovation. The room is filled with a hum of electrical equipment, a hint of ozone in the air. Westinghouse steps in, his brow furrowed with skepticism, but his eyes scanning the setup with interest. You guide him to the centerpiece, a pair of miniature cars on a racetrack. With a flick of a switch, they zip around the loop effortlessly. Mr. Westinghouse, you begin. Observe how AC's power is transmitted with ease over distance, no less. Next, you unveil the electric oven. I feel like it's like a game show, like
Generation game.
Yeah,
where
yeah.
it's all
Prize!
Cuddly tie. Case of champagne.
And now, tell me your favorite dish. Let me show you how alternating current not only powers the future, it feeds it. Westinghouse hesitates, finally muttering, roast chicken, I suppose. Moments later, the oven is humming, the aroma of cooking chicken filling the air. You finish with a dramatic flourish. See that? AC, mate. Not just power, progress. Weston leans back, visibly impressed. Tesla, you make a compelling case. But Edison has a well-oiled propaganda machine. He's already publishing safety concerns about AC. If I commit, you must counter that, can you? So it was a successful demonstration.
And just to clarify, these safety concerns are me on the top of a bus shouting AC stands for absolute crap.
Yeah.
That's the
Like
safety
a
concern.
madman. Like, why isn't has he forgotten the dangers of DC, that it can control you and control your mind? Like,
Yeah.
I might have to just remind him of that, because I think that's pretty much a good way to counteract a man on a bus going, absolute crap.
It's basically like Boris Johnson on the back of his Brexit bus, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's how effective it's going to be. Well, that was very effective, wasn't it?
Remain
Persuading people.
absolute crap.
So it's giving you some options. Do you want to hear them, or do you want to just...
Go on then. Yeah, yes, please.
So it says you could commission scientific studies from respected universities of AC's dangers, a hosted demonstration of DC's safety, or begin a letter writing campaign to city councils from concerned citizens.
I think what I'd like to do is I don't want to involve livestock. I think that's going too far. But what I would like to do is I'd like to demonstrate how safe DC is by getting a massive battery and sticking it on my tongue, so it just sort of like sparks. But I'm none the worse for wear.
But would you be?
I think so. Yeah, I remember at primary school, Mr. Cliff, my teacher, said that you should never do it but there were boys in his class when he was a little boy who loved putting a battery on their tongue because it made it go spark.
What? You don't lick batteries. That's like rule number 1.
Well, he didn't need to tell me twice, Keon. That's all I'm saying. I've never licked a battery in my life, but for the purpose of this demonstration, I'm happy to. And I say, where is Nikola? If Nikola Tesla is the man that he claims to be, why doesn't he
Lick a battery?
Yeah, no. A, why doesn't he lick a battery and show how much, how good DC is? But also, I'd like to see him try this with AC. Good luck, mate. Then we'll see how safe it is.
But you're not. It's electricity. You're not meant to.
Well, I know,
play
but
about with it.
accidents happen, mate. That's what I'll say. Yeah,
Is that how all health and safety tests are carried out now?
I think so. Yeah.
You know, them PAT tests they come and do in offices. Are they just like licking the plug? Yeah, that's fine. Put a label on that one.
That's good to go.
Have you ever been electrocuted? Have you ever had like an electric shock?
Yes, I have. I've
Been electrocuted.
I'm still here.
When I was in Guantanamo, have you had a electric shock?
I have. Well, we used to have. I grew up on a farm where you had electric fences, and they would zap you, if you touched them. But we had a leak in our house at one stage, and it leaked through into what we called the larder, and some of the electricity.
Of course, you've got a larder.
It's a farmhouse. And in the larder, there was
Sorry.
There was a sort of circuit board, and the rainwater dripped onto it.
Yeah.
And my dad gave me a hairdryer and said just like run it under there to like try and evaporate the water out.
Right.
And I thought I'd got it, and I thought I'm not sure if I've done that properly or not, so I'll just run my hand under it to see if it's still wet.
Oh.
And I got a shock.
I would have totally done that.
I got a shock off the mains. It lasted probably a fraction of a second.
Yeah.
But it fucking got my attention. It was like, I don't know, like my whole body was being wobbled by something really fucking powerful for a fraction of a second. Yeah.
So you say I should wear a lab coat because I'm the sort of scientist, but I once put a knife in a toaster that was on. I was trying to.
Yeah.
The toast got caught.
Yeah.
And I went and jammed the knife.
While it was on?
While I was on. I was like, that was stupid. So, yeah.
Easy to do stupid things. Although in my research, I did find that Thomas.
In my research, I jabbed my fingers in a plug.
I did read that Thomas Edison, because he was so addicted to doing experiments, and I think he had a job as a sort of, was it at a train station or something? He was like a signalman or something like that, and he had some sort of acid on and he was pretending, I think he was doing the night shift, because that's when no one could watch him, and he would just do loads of experiments, and the acid dripped down through the floorboards and onto his boss's desk, and like melted some of his work, and he got fired the next day. So, even a great genius like Thomas Edison does silly stuff sometimes.
Lads. Okay, so Keon, how are you going to respond to this like battery nonsense?
I'm not going to lick a battery. I'm not going to stoop to that level.
No.
Like, they're not meant to be licked. Like, what is this?
So do you want to do any PR, or do you want to just like plow?
Well,
on?
firstly, remind him to say, like, I've spread quite a big misinformation campaign about how DC could potentially control a person if it gets into them. Like, don't forget that. But as for the safety of AC, how do we prove the safety?
You have like put railings around it. Whenever there's a plug, just put railings around it so no one can get close.
But it's not unsafe. Stop putting your... this is your call. I see what you're doing here. It's not unsafe. I'm not going to lick a battery though. Like, that is the bottom line.
Okay, so no battery licking.
No battery licking. I will put on it, do not lick. I put stickers on everything I make that says do not lick. So then, ultimately, if you do, that's just on you, really, isn't it?
It's unambiguous, isn't it? It's clear.
Yeah, like that's like your disclaimer. It's like, well, I told him not to lick it, and he's licked it. So it's not my problem.
If it's in you, I'll find it. Because if you haven't got it...
That's DC. If it's in you, I'll find it and I will control you with it.
Okay.
So that's your motto.
Okay.
That it? Anything else good with that?
No, just show me the money.
Oh.
Getting a bit impatient, to be honest.
Over to Thomas Edison. So, you have just lost a life for endangering yourself with public battery licking.
See, I told you you're not meant to lick batteries.
Okay.
Remaining lives, 1.
1?
Yeah.
Okay, so I had 2 to start with. Okay.
Yeah. Slams hand on desk. Good heavens, Mr. Edison. First a man in a battery costume, and now you propose to lick batteries in public? Takes a long drink from a brandy glass. Ooh. I must point out that whilst Tesla is over there putting on a rather impressive show of practical applications, although I loathe to compliment anything managed by that simpleton ChatGPT, you seem to be determined to turn this into a carnival act. Paces around desk agitatedly. Let us attempt something more dignified. You have 1 life remaining, so please consider this carefully. Okay. You have significant connections with Mayor Hugh Grant of New York City.
Hugh Grant. Okay. I've got connections with Hugh Grant.
Yeah, so you've got significant connections with him. I suggest you arrange a private demonstration, show how your established Pearl Street station has been operating safely for 8 years, present documented evidence of your system's reliability versus AC's unpredictable voltage fluctuations, or offer preferential pricing for city contracts if they commit to DC exclusively. So...
Okay, that's pretty... He really wants to win this game, doesn't he? He's not buying into the Tan Parsons chaos method.
No, and he's...
You're in his way, if anything.
It sounds like basically, he just wants to get me out of the way and get on and win.
So
holding him up.
Accurate. I wouldn't be the ideal partner for this venture in real life.
It's my business partner in a corner just licking batteries. Hello, I'm Tan.
I'm the mascot.
Okay, so... How are you going to respond?
So, I'll do all that stuff that Claude suggested, definitely, because that is really sensible. But I also want to put my own personal flavour on it as well. So, one of the things about me, Thomas Edison, is that as well as doing loads of cool inventions with electricity, I also invented the phonograph. Okay. So it was very elementary. It wasn't like a proper LP, but I used tin foil initially for whatever reason. And so you can't get many uses out of it. But I want to basically put on a party where I will be the DJ and I will spin my tinfoil discs, powered by DC, of course, with very strong DC branding on everything, like on the front of my turntables. And then basically I'll have a big party for Hugh Grant, the mayor, and I'll say everyone's invited, but not Nikola Tesla. He's just,
didn't want to come.
Well, why don't you invite him so you could
party.
clash?
Actually, that's a great idea.
Just sound clash.
I will.
or a dance off.
Yeah, I will invite him, and then I think I'll encourage someone else to take over the DJing, and I'll like do like the worm and breakdancing stuff on the floor, and I'll like throw to Tesla and do like, what have you got, mate? It'd be a bit like sort of Run DMC versus Jason Nevins.
Yeah.
That tune would be like that music video. But apart from that, I'll do all the stuff Claude said about, I can't remember, what was it? All the science.
Demonstrate that it's like all good and stuff.
I'll demonstrate the power of DC and how it's safe, sensible.
Yeah.
And we can work on the inefficiencies.
And it can create some lasting moments with this parties.
Exactly. So I want to crystallize all of that scientific thinking in a great party that no one will ever forget.
Okay.
It sounds really cool. I'd quite like to go to that party.
Well, you're invited. Well, Keon would, or Nikola Tesla.
No, me. It's just like I would actually.
Keon Dad go start.
That would be a really cool party to go to.
Okay.
I'd be well up for that.
Right.
Glad I can go as my character.
Yeah.
I'll have to bring the moves.
Can you do breakdancing?
Probably not anymore.
What if you had to do one? What would you like? Walk the clock or something like like a real beginner's move?
Walk the clock.
Where you like lie on your side and like you walk around.
Is that called walk the clock?
I think so. Like Homer Simpson does.
I can probably do that.
Yeah.
Because you can do that on a slippery floor.
Yeah, it's got to be fairly slippery.
Like where you go bowling.
Yeah.
You can do it there.
Yeah, you don't want to do it on like a dance floor where people have spilled loads of beer. That would be awful.
No, I wouldn't do that one because you just look mental.
Yeah.
Sorry, but it's not a dance move, is it?
What about the worm? Would you do, the worm where you sort of like...
Well, yes, you were going to do that one, so I'll probably like do more of like a robot. Because I'm like electric guy. I'm like...
Of course.
Electric guy.
And what's that one where you link arms?
What's that one? I don't know.
Where there's a row of you and you all hold hands.
Like that.
And I'll get the electricity, it'll swing through all of us. So
that's clever. A branded dance.
Yeah. This is the AC.
Nice.
All right.
But it'd be mental. You'll be like going in all directions because it's alternating. So it's kind of like chaotic.
Yeah, well, that's like breakdancing really in general, isn't it?
Good point. Yeah.
Okay, so you know what he's just said. It's now your turn. So you know that you've been invited.
I'm there with bells on me.
I go to the party with bells on.
And I got my dance move.
Do you want me to just say that you do that dance?
Yeah, describe that. You can just describe that dance I just said. It's called the AC.
The AC.
Yeah.
Oh, he's going to do the AC. Look.
Yeah.
Sick move.
Yeah.
Do you reckon you could spin on your head?
Me or the Tesla?
Tesla, Nikola Tesla.
How old is he?
I think he's like in middle years at this point. Late 1800s. But he's 40s, but he's in good nick. He's in good nick.
I reckon I'd stand on my head and then I'd get someone else to like get my legs and just like spin me around with my leg. Hey, look at this.
They will have never seen anything like it before.
Without any support, I don't think I could do that. No, even in this fictional world. It's a bit far-fetched.
I'll do some breakdancing, stand on my head, spinning around. What else do you want to do? Do you want to do any of your PR campaign or just...
Yeah, I'm going to get on the mic.
Okay.
And I will go, when I say A, you say C, A, and then I'll put the mic to the crowd and they all chant back, hopefully, C, and then do that for a bit, just so it stays stuck in their head for when they leave and they wake up in the morning going, A, C, like that.
So you're going to get the population behind you by giving them a good time.
Yeah.
All right.
At someone else's party. Gate crash.
Gate crash.
Okay, do you want to say anything to Edison or like, do you even need to?
I think at this point, no, I don't
themselves.
think I need to. Yeah, I mean, he can do his little dance as well. We'll have a little dance off, but ultimately, I'm come loaded. I'm going in there swinging.
So, just a reminder, you've got 2 lives remaining, and Tan, you have 1 life remaining.
Yes.
Or had 1 life remaining.
Right. That sounds ominous.
I'm trying to think, who should I read out first? What would make sense?
I would say, I think probably maybe mine first, because I put on the party and then Keon has
Yeah,
reacted.
yeah.
He's come to the party, perhaps.
Yeah, you got to set the scene.
Lives 1 arrow 0, brackets. Final life lost due to highly unprofessional conduct.
Oh!
What?
Game over.
Oh,
No, but that means we don't get the dance off.
Well, you might just get an easy ride. And
You don't even get to
Yeah,
hold the party.
Claude is like, if I can't win this, you are out.
He's
mate.
taking me down. Okay.
He slams a brass pointer on the desk. Good heavens, Mr. Edison! While I appreciate your creative approach to social networking, I'm afraid doing the worm at a mayoral gathering in 1890s New York society would be nothing short of scandalous.
Is it scandalous? Oh, I think that's a bit strong, but okay.
I feel like
It's not becoming.
Not becoming, is it? You're right. That's a good description.
takes a large gulp of brandy. Game over analysis. Let's review your temporal expedition's unique trajectory. You attempted to deploy a man in a battery costume. You proposed public battery licking demonstrations.
Yeah.
And it concluded with a plan to challenge Tesla to a dance-off.
Sounds bad, actually, when you sum it up.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Tesla...
When you put it like that, I can see why he didn't go for it.
So, yeah, I think he's really annoyed that ChatGPT's beaten him. It's like, meanwhile, Tesla and Westinghouse, despite being managed by that calculating simpleton ChatGPT, they have secured substantial financial backing, they've demonstrated practical AC applications, and they've established a professional laboratory, positioned themselves for the Chicago World Fair. So your actions have inadvertently accelerated AC adoption by making DC advocacy appear rather circus-like. The timeline has shifted significantly in Tesla's favour. And then he rises from his desk and says, perhaps in our next temporal expedition, we might focus more on your actual historical strengths, business acumen, political connections, and technical innovations, rather than your dance floor acrobatics.
Okay.
Though I must admit, the image of Thomas Edison doing the worm will haunt my dreams for years to come. So
Wow.
Claude is very much not playing ball.
Not impressed.
Not impressed. However...
Yeah, can we have the actual dance? Like, say there was one.
Well, I pasted all of that into ChatGPT.
So there's still a chance.
Ah, Keon, a display so audacious, so electrifying, it would make even me applaud, if I weren't choking on the sheer chaos of it all. Very well, Tesla, let's set the stage for this legendary party and ensure your moves aren't just memorable, but era-defining. So ChatGPT's like, fucking go with it!
Yeah.
Oosh.
Okay.
You will go to the ball.
Very much so.
So it's a grand New York society party in the ballroom of the Waldorf Hotel. The room buzzes with chatters, industrialists, politicians and journalists mingle. You, Nikola Tesla, sweep in wearing a sharp black suit with your signature flair.
Oh, yeah.
A quiet confidence radiating from you. Edison's already here, sulking in the corner. Probably
Licking a battery by himself.
He's probably debating whether to challenge the coat rack to a duel. So,
Blimey.
A weird insult.
yeah, very bizarre. Well, I've forgotten ChatGPT can't insult, can it? So when the moment's right, you step forward and the room hushes. You direct attention to a microphone, a marvel powered entirely by your AC setup. Your voice booms crisp and clear. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight I bring you not just words, but a demonstration of the power, the elegance, the future of electricity. You take to the centre of the room and introduce your dance, the AC. The music kicks in. Another feat powered by alternating current.
That's my music, by the way.
Wait, it's my photographs. You begin a dance so rhythmic, so innovative, that the crowd is instantly entranced. Every step you embody the energy of progress, sharp spins for efficiency, smooth waves for elegance, and yes, a breakdancing head spin leaves jaws on the floor. I mean, wow. It culminates in a human chain that you orchestrate. Everyone join hands, feel the pulse of innovation. And at the end of the chain, a volunteer grips a specially insulated wire. A small, safe jolt of electricity courses through the chain. Eliciting gasps. I was hoping that you just kill everybody.
Yeah, I'll be like, I told you!
Yeah.
From the corner.
So you take the mic, you say, when I say A, you say C. A, the crowd roars back. C.
Hey.
A, C. The party loves it. Journalists love it. The narrative shifts. You don't lose any lives. Yeah, your bold move solidifies public favour in AC. So you've got you've got the funding. And it just says, let's see if Edison and Claude's clumsy grasp on social decorum can recover from this absolute defeat. I think it means from their absolute defeat. Shall they try ballroom sabotage, or will they simply sulk into obscurity? So I think you've won.
Sounds like it.
It's going to be pretty hard to come back from that, I think.
Yeah. I mean, you were supposed to. There was a whole extra mission where you were supposed to like. There's this dam that was powered by DC, and I think basically the idea is that you had to convince them to power it with AC.
Right.
That was level 3. We didn't get past level 1.
yeah, I forgot. We were like just trying to get funding. That was just to get funding.
Yeah, so I think you've won, but I also think it was a hollow victory because I kind of what did you guys think first?
I thought I found it sort of hard to picture the actual mechanics of the two AIs talking to each other and me and Keon talking to each other. So I think we need a bit of a flow diagram of how this works for Patreon listeners.
I think
I got confused as well.
Yeah, I was going to say not just for them, but I'd quite like to see that myself, to be honest.
But I think it's quite a fun idea, and I thought, stupidly at the start, I thought Claude is cooler than ChatGPT. I'm definitely going to have the advantage. Yeah. And of course, it actually punished me, whereas ChatGPT is much more welcoming, permissive, and like it's more of a hype man, whereas Claude was a punisher.
Yeah.
And so any nonsense I tried was rubbished. And I'm not saying all your ideas were rubbish, but they were colourful.
They were not challenged.
They were backed.
They were celebrated, weren't they, if anything. So it just threw up a bit of flavour about the two different AIs.
Yeah. So that's why I think that although you lost, I think Claude actually won. I feel like it was better at.
So maybe Keon won, Claude won, GPT, Hollow, Tan Parsons, poor.
I'll take that.
I think it. Yeah, by being stricter, I think Claude was better. It felt, whereas ChatGPT never once criticised Claude, even though I told it slag off the other guy. It didn't bother It didn't really mention the other player.
I think it did at the start, but not much.
It didn't really keep on top of it. So in a way, I think in this instance, in the first ChatGPT versus Claude fight, I would say that Claude won, but Keon won. Playing ChatGPT as Nikola Tesla.
Congratulations, mate. Well done.
Thank you.
And actually an accurate reflection of what happened in the War of the Currents, because AC did win because it was more efficient. So, if anything, we've been quite true to history.
Yeah. Well, for a change.
Apart from the battery licking, I think.
I'm sure someone licked the odd battery at some point in history.
And the battery bus, that sort of got glossed over. I don't think Claude even mentioned that. It was just too stupid, so he just sort of ignored it, quite rightly.
How did they find out licking batteries was dangerous? Someone must have done it.
I think it's just popped it on their tongue. Yeah. I wonder what that tastes like. I wonder what electricity tastes like. And then,
off they went.
I got electrocuted once.
Did you? What was the scenario?
I'm so bad at DIY that I was trying to change a light bulb, and I struggled with it to a point where the end result of me just trying to merely change a light bulb ended with the entire light being completely disconnected in different pieces, to the point where there was literally just a live wire coming through the ceiling. That's how bad I got it.
So if anyone touched that, they were in trouble.
Yeah, and so after that going, I can't change this light bulb, I've now just got a live wire hanging out my ceiling. I went and had a shower. I came out of the shower, tried to continue fixing it whilst in my towel, wearing nothing else. So I stood on the bed in just my towel and touched the live wire, and it threw me across the room.
No way, really?
Yeah, completely.
Oh, jeez.
And I was just laying there, just like in my towel with like my wet hands, like my wet hair. So stupid.
And after that,
why did I touch that?
Do you think from then on, right, I'll get a person in to do this for me?
To change a light bulb, yeah. I'll just watch a YouTube video next time, just follow it closely.
Well, I feel like we learned a lot, possibly, maybe not.
Learn something. Yeah. Well, I learned a lot about Thomas Edison and Nikola Tesla.
I learned about AC and DC, which I didn't know.
Not in the course of this recording, but prior to it.
There's a lot of peripheral learning going on.
Yeah, so listeners haven't actually learned anything about AC.
No, just go look up Wikipedia if you actually want to know the story.
Yeah. Well, I need to come up with a slightly less chaotic way of making this work, because that
was wild.
Multiple copy pastes. We didn't even get Gemini involved at the end. Shall I just tell Gemini?
Chuck it into Gemini. See who won, mate.
Interesting. I only pasted in like the last two outputs from each game.
Yeah.
And Gemini, Google's AI, says Claude playing as Tesla has won the Passport game. Well, no, Claude didn't play as Tesla.
Okay, so Gemini is just
Gemini has
completely
no idea what's going on.
misunderstood the prompts altogether.
Can't blame it, really.
Yeah.
It was confusing.
The conclusion is no one has a fucking clue what's going on. Well, do get in touch. Let us know how we could actually make a 2-player game work. I think we definitely need a bit of help with that.
No, every 2-player game I've won.
Have you?
Yeah, because I won Barbie and Ken.
Jesus.
With the Jesus one with Nick. And this one.
Wow.
I'm 3 for 3.
3 for 3.
Come and have a go.
Undefeated.
Never doing that again.
All right, well, we better go because something dramatic's happening at Charlton Football Stadium around the corner from this pub. So let's sign off there. Where can people get in touch with us, guys?
They can get in touch with us on Instagram at PastMasterPod, on X at PastMasterAI, and you can email us at pastmasterpod@gmail.com.
Wow.
Do leave us a follow us on Apple Music. No, follow us on Apple Podcasts.
Subscribe, chuck a like on anything that you're watching it on.
Follow.
Press
Apparently.
follow.
Yeah. Follow on everywhere you get your follows.
And I know it's a boring thing to say, but please do leave us a 5-star review, regardless of how good you think it is, because it really does help us get found.
Just like it was electrifying. Anyway.
If you think we need to get better, giving us less than 5 stars is not going to help us get better. So
ironically.
think of it like that.
Ironically.
And on that note, tune in next time for more PastMaster adventures.
Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Yo, Claude, you're weak, got no AC flow. Edison's popping, doing worms on the floor, bro. Battery licking, man, that's your blade. While I'm out here shocking crowds in a whole new way. Westinghouse backed me, I flipped the game. You lost all your lives, what a freaking shame. Tried to slam the AC, but you made it hype. Now step to the mic, if you dare, grab the wide tight. Listen up, Daddy G. Your rhymes are third rate, your verse is just AI generated hate. You think you won? That's alternating fact. One by direct current pause, leave the system crack. Yeah, I lost my life. With silent flare, your game master's creativity is thinner than Tesla. Also a real proper soul with that double F flow. When it comes to battle rap, ChatGPT's like a run roll. Edison, Tesla, battle like Keon